Good morning friends. Now start the next part of the chapter, that is the lenses in refraction. Refraction through the lenses. We have two lenses in our syllabus, convex and the concave lenses. So first I will explain you what are the actually lenses and some definition related to the lenses. So first we have two type of lenses, that is the convex and concave lens. These are two types of lenses, convex and concave lens. So actually lenses are made up of glass. It is made up of glass. The lens which is thicker in the middle and thin at the edges are called the convex lens. And the lens in which the middle part is thin as compared to the edges, it means edges are thicker and the middle of the lens is thin. This is called the concave lens. So this convex lens is also known as the converging lens. Converging lens. You know what is the meaning of converging? If the light rays which falls on this lens, it actually converges all the light rays like this. So it converges all the light rays. That's why it is called the converging lens. And about the concave lens, the light rays which falls on it, it actually diverges the light rays. So this is called the concave lens or the diverging lens. Diverging lens. Now first I am going to explain you how these lenses work. How these convex lens, how it converges the light rays and why this concave lens diverges the light rays. So for explaining, first convex lens, I am going to divide this lens into the three parts. Suppose this is a convex lens, not suppose, this is a convex lens, and I am going to divide it into the three parts. The upper and the lower parts act like a prism. It's appear like a prism. You know the prism? It is triangular in shape. Or prism is actually, if you saw from the upper side, it will appear like this. It is made up of glass. So we can say the upper part works like a prism. So when the light ray falls on it, what happens about this light? Okay, now we know that this is air and this lens is made up of glass. So what will happen when the light rays passes from air into the glass? It will bend towards the normal. We know that when the light rays passes from the rare medium to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. It means it bends towards the normal like this. Okay, so this is Paul's refraction. And again, what will happen when this light rays passes from glass into the air? Means this is a normal, and we know that the light ray will move away from the normal. It means the light which is coming like this, which is actually parallel to the principal axis. I will explain you later what is the principal axis. So the light which is coming like this is refract or the band like this. So we can say the light which is falling on it, after passing through the lens, it moves in the direction of base like this. Suppose this is a prism, so this lies band towards the base. Or what will happen about this inverted prism? What will happen if the light passes through the inverted prism? So light will pass like this. This is the normal. Again it will bend towards the normal like this. And again when it passes from glass into the air, it will bend away from the normal like this. So it means all the light passes from the prism, it actually going to converge the light ray. All the light ray which is initially parallel to each other, after passing through the lens, it converges. And this middle portion works like a glass slab. We have learned about the glass slab. No, yes. Refraction through the slab. Okay, I don't know I explained you or not. Okay, if I did not explain you what is a glass slab, I will explain you later. So this works like a glass slab. So again, the light passes through the glass slab. If it is perpendicular to it, it will passes like this. So this is the method how this convex lens behave like a converging lens. So this is the working of the convex lens. Now, so I think you can understand why this lens behave like a conversing lens. I am going to explain you the diverging lens, that is the concave lens. So concave lens is like this, thin from the middle and thicker from the edges. Okay. Now I am going to divide it into three different parts like this. This is an inverted prism and the middle part is like a slab. So what will happen when a light passes through the prism? When the light is passing light is coming like this, and when it passes from air into the glass, it will bend towards the normal. So the light which is coming like this is the normal and it will bend towards the normal like this. Again, when it passes from the glass into the air, this is the normal. Normal means if this is the surface, the perpendicular at the point is called the normal. So this is the normal at this point and it will bend away from the normal like this. So what happened to this light? It diverges. It is coming, the coming path of this light is this one, but it actually diverges. So all the light ray which is coming like this become diverse. So again in this part, the lower part of the prism, the light coming like this. This is normal, it bend towards the normal. Again it passes from the air, glass into the air, it will bend away from the normal. So like this. So you can say that all the light which is coming parallel to each other, these four rays are actually parallel to each other. And when it passes from the prism, when it passes from the lens, concave lens, it diverges. So that's why this is called the diverging lens. So we will study about the two lenses, the convex and the concave lens. Convex lens is also called the conversing lens. I explained you why it is called the conversing lens. And concave lens is also called the diverging lens. Okay. Same as the middle part is behaved like a glass slab. So some definitions related to the lenses. So I am going to make the lens. You will write definition in your notebook. I am going to explain you in this video, or in case of any problem you can ask to your Zoom session. Okay, so this is a convex lens. The lens which is thicker from the middle and thinner at the edges is called the convex lens. And the lens which is thinner in the middle and thicker at the edges is called the concave lens. And these lenses are actually made up of glass. You know the glass is a denser medium as compared to the air. So that's why this is the reason, that's why this converts the beam of light and this lens diverges the beam of light. Okay, some definition. First one is the optical center. What is the optical center? Optical center is the center point of the lens. If a lens is like this is a piece of glass. Lens is a piece of glass. So the center of this lens is called the optical center. So optical center is actually the center of the lens is called the optical center. And if we draw a line which is actually perpendicular to both the surface, these are the two surfaces. Okay, this lens is also called the biconvex lens. Biconvex lens means this is convex from this part and also convex from this part. So this is called the biconvex lens. Now if we draw a line which is perpendicular to both the faces, this is the one of the face, and if we draw the line which is perpendicular to this face and again perpendicular to another face, so the light ray, or we can say a line, imaginary line, which passes from the optical center and perpendicular to both the faces of the lens is called the principal axis. This is the principal axis of the lens. Okay. So we have learned about what is the optical center, what is the principal axis. Now the next one. So you have to write the definitions, optical center and the principal axis. Now the third part is of principal focus. So again I am telling you, you will write the definition of all these terms which I am going to explain you. First one is the optical center. Okay, optical center is the center of the lens. Second one is the principal axis. What is the principal axis? A line which passes through the optical center and is perpendicular to both the faces of the lens is called the principal axis. And the third, it's really important. And one more thing, when you write the definition of principal focus, you have to draw the figure with it. Like for the explaining of principal axis, I am going to explain you one diagram. Like the line which are initially parallel to the principal axis. We know the principal axis, this is the principal axis, and these lines are actually coming parallel to this principal axis. And we know that when these lines passes from the lens, it will converge. So actually what happened, when this light passes from this lens, it converges on a point on the principal axis. After converging from this lens, they meet at a particular point on the principal axis. And this point is called the principal focus. Again, I am going to explain to you. The lines, the light ray which are initially parallel to the principal axis. Again, I am going to tell you that first of all you will draw this image and then you will write the definition of principal focus. This is principal focus. So what is the principal focus? The light ray which are initially parallel to the principal axis after passing through the lens converge on a point on the principal axis is called the principal focus of the lens. Okay. So this is the definition of principal focus. Now you can think, if all the light ray which are coming parallel to the principal axis from this side meet at a point on the principal axis towards this side, so what will happen if the light is coming from this side, means from the right hand side? Like this is a lens, the same lens is here, and this is the principal axis, and now this time the light is coming from right hand side. So what will happen? Again, this lens, since behave like a converging lens, it will converge all the light rays at a point on a principal axis. This is called the principal focus. It means a lens has two focus on either side. One is towards this side and second one is towards this side. F1 and F2. We represent it by writing F1 and F2. So a lens have two principal focus. And generally in case of when we draw the diagram related to these lenses, we will use only this focus. But a lens has focus on both the sides. So we can explain, we can define the principal focus like this. The ray which are initially parallel to the principal axis after converging from the lens, after passing through the lens, meet on a point on the principal axis is called the principal focus. After converging from the lens, it meets at a point on the principal axis which is called the principal focus of the lens. So basically this lens has two focus, one on either side. So this is about the convex lens. And what's about the concave lens? Since we know that it diverges the beam of light. So I am going to make this lens I am going to shift this lens towards this side so that I can explain you easily. So these are the light rays which are initially parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis and the light are coming parallel to the principal axis. Now we know that this lens will diverge the beam of light. So in the case of concave lens, all the light rays appear to be diverged from a point like this. It appears that these light are diverging from this point. The light which is coming parallel to the principal axis appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis is called the principal focus of the concave lens. So in case of convex lens, the light rays actually meet at a point. And in case of concave lens, the light rays appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis. And this is called the principal focus of concave lens. Again, I am going to tell you the definition of concave lens, principal focus of concave lens. You will write it like this. The light ray which are initially parallel to the principal axis after passing through the lens, or you can say after diversion from the lens, appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis, which is called the principal focus of concave lens. If you want to combine the definitions of both the lenses like the convex and the concave lens, you can write it like this. The light ray which are initially parallel to the principal axis converge on a point on the principal axis or appear to diverge from the point on the principal axis is called the principal focus of convex and concave lens respectively. So we can combine both the definitions of concave and the convex lenses. Now, you should know if the light ray actually meets at a point. This is called the real focus. It means in the case of convex lens, we know that the light rays are actually meeting at a point. Meeting at a point which is called the principal focus. And this point is, since the light rays are actually meeting at this point, so this is called the real focus. So it means a convex lens has a real focus. And what's about the concave lens? Concave lens has a virtual focus. Why it has a virtual focus? It has virtual focus because it appears that all the light rays are diverging from this point. They are not actually diverge from this point. They appear to diverge from this point. So when the light rays are appear to diverge or appear to meet, we will say it is a virtual form. So this is the virtual focus. So convex lens has a real focus and concave lens has a virtual focus. So I explained you three definitions here. Optical center, the center of the lens. Principal axis, the line which is passing through the optical center and perpendicular to both the faces. In concave lens, same as the optical center is the middle point, center point, and if the line is passing through the center point is perpendicular to both the faces is called the principal axis. And principal focus I explained you for both convex and the concave lens. And next one is the focal length. So you have to write the definition of all these terms. I am going to explain you these definitions. You can pause video for writing these definitions. So now, what is the focal length? The distance between the optical center and the principal focus is called the focal length. So this is the optical center, this is the principal focus. So the distance between the optical center and the principal focus is called the focal length. We represent the focal length by the symbol small f. So here in this case concave lens, this is the principal focus and this is the optical center. So the distance between them is called the focal length. So this is the other definition of focal length. Okay. So now these are some definitions related to the lenses. Now I am going to tell you the images formation by the convex lens, the rules which we use for the images formation by the convex lens. So the first rule is, in case of convex lens, this is the optical center and we know that the focal length is on the either side f1, f2 and double of this focal length is called the 2f. Double of this focal length is called 2f. And one important thing is, the distance of both the focus should be equal. For this biconvex lens, the focal length of both the sides should be equal. So, first rule is, the ray which is coming parallel to principal axis, you will write the heading, rules for obtaining the image by the convex lens. Again, you can pause video for writing in your notebook. First rule is, first of all, you write the heading, write your heading. That the rule for images formation by the convex lens. Now the rule number 1. The ray which is coming, just try to understand it and then write in your notebook. The ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis. We know that this light will passes from the principal focus of the convex lens. So we will say the first rule is, the light which is coming parallel to the principal axis will pass from the principal focus of the lens. This is the first rule. The second rule is, the ray which will pass through the optical center like this will pass straight without any deviation. So one question from my side is it actually happen if the light is passing from the optical center? Do not deviate anymore? आप ऐसा समझ सकते हो कि यहाँ से होती जब जाती होगी तो सीधी जाती होगी क्या? This is the question for you. You have to answer me why this light which is coming towards the optical center passes straight without any deviation. I'm going to repeat my question. Why the light which is coming towards the optical center passes straight without any deviation, sorry. So this is a question for you. No. Now the second rule is, you will write the second rule. Second rule is the ray which passes through the optical center passes straight without any deviation. This is second rule. And the third one is the ray which is coming from the principal focus after refraction from the mirror passes parallel to the principal axis. This third rule is opposite to this one. The light ray which is coming from the principal focus after refraction from the mirror will pass parallel to the principal axis. This is the rule number 3rd. So these are the 3 rules for the images formation. We should know these 3 rules for obtaining the image by using the convex lens. So okay, I am going to rub this one now. Now we will study how can we obtain the image by using the convex lens. So in case of convex lens, we have 6 conditions like in the concave mirror. Okay, so first one. So okay, write the heading in your notebook. Images formation by convex lens. Write on the heading, images formation by convex lens. So I am taking 6 conditions for images formation by convex lens. First condition is, this is the lens. You can use compass for obtaining the lens. Lens should be thin, it should not be thick. So we have 2 focus on either side. Okay. And we will also write the 2f, means the double of this focal length. This is called a 2f. So these are 2 focus of the convex lens, f1, f2, and I told you earlier that we will use only this focus for the images formation, because actually we take the object, always we take the object towards LHS. Okay, so it's necessary that he will place the object towards the LHS, toward the left hand side. So the first case is, we are placing the object beyond 2f. Beyond 2f. Now what is the position of object? Beyond 2f. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you, that this length should be double of this one. If you are taking this length as a 3 cm, this should be again 3. It means the total length will be 6 cm. These lengths should be equal. Okay, so we are placing the object like this. So you can draw the images with me. It will be easy for you. So first, the ray which will coming parallel to the principal axis, you will use a scale. I don't have a scale, a large scale for using here. So I am making it roughly, but you have to make it by using a scale, compass and pencil. So first, the ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis will pass through the principal focus like this. After reflection from the mirror, it will pass from the principal focus. Okay. Now, the second one is, the ray which is coming towards the optical center passes straight without any deviation. So you will draw the ray which is coming towards the optical center passes straight without any deviation like this. Always make arrow with your rays, because it represents the direction of rays. So now, if you place object beyond 2f, the image will 100% be obtained between f and 2f, like this. So these rays meet at this point. Since we start from the head of the object, this is the object AB, and we start from their head. So this should be the head of the image, A dash, B dash, and we are representing it by using symbols A dash, B dash. So now you can say what is the nature of the image. Since these light rays meet earlier, it means if we place the object beyond 2f and it meet before 2f, so image will be 100% smaller than the object. So we will write the nature of the image. First, you will draw this image and then you have to write the nature of the image. Nature of the image is, first, it is smaller than object. Smaller than object. Okay. Second one, since the light rays are actually meeting at this point, so we will say image is real. When the light rays actually meet at a point, this is called the real image. And what is the position of the image? It is in between, it is formed in between f and 2f. Nature of image. Okay, is smaller than object, real, between f and 2f, and inverted. Since the image is inverted, means upside down, so we call it like the inverted image. Inverted. Okay, so this is the nature of image. When we place the object beyond 2f, it always formed in between f and 2f, is smaller than object, real, and real object is real image is always inverted. So real and inverted. Now this was the first case. Now we are taking the second case when we are placing the object at 2f. So I am going to rub it. You can pause video for drawing this image and for writing the nature of image. Now the second case, we are placing the object at 2f. This is the lens. Always make a thin lens, not the thick one. Thin lens. f1, 2f1, f2 and 2f2. So now we are placing the object at 2f. Again the distance of these should be equal and this should be double of this one. Suppose we are taking it 3 cm, it will be 6. And it should be 3 and it should be 6. So first ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis will pass from the, from the principal focus. And the other ray which is passing from the optical center passes straight without any deviation like this. So if we place the object at 2f, its image will 100% form at 2f. Okay, where you should make this distance equal. So this is the image which is formed at 2f. Now you can say what is the nature of image. Again, the most important thing is you have to make the arrows with the rays. It shows the direction of the rays. So what is the nature of image? First, since the object is at 2f and the image is also formed at 2f, it is at the same size of object. So image is same size of object. Second one, it actually meeting at a point. Since the light rays are actually meeting at a point, so we will say it is real. And real image is always, inverted. And what is the position of the image? It is at 2f. Simple. So this is the second case. When we place the object at 2f, the image will be formed at 2f, real, inverted and of the same size. Now the third condition is, again you can pause video for writing, for drawing it and for writing the nature of the image. Now the third case. Now we are placing the object in between f and 2f. In case when we place the object beyond 2f, the image is formed in between f and 2f. Or this is vice versa actually. When we place the object in between f and 2f, the image will form beyond 2f. Like this is a lens. This is f and 2f and f and 2f. So now we are placing the object in between f and 2f. The ray which is coming parallel will passes from the focus like this. The ray which is coming towards the optical center passes straight without any deviation. So these light ray 100% will meet after beyond 12. So it's really easy to learn it that if we place the object beyond 2f, image will form between f and 2f. And if we place the object between f and 2f, the image will form beyond 2f. These are vice versa. So what is the nature of the image now? The third condition is we are placing the object in between f and 2f. So nature of the image is it is real, inverted, and what is the position? So I am writing it real, inverted, and beyond 2f, and it is greater than the object, larger than the object. Simple, easy. Now next condition. What will happen if we place the object at f? So we are moving towards the lens, like beyond 2f, then 2f, then between f and 2f, and then at f, and between f and o. So this was the third condition. Now I am going to explain you the fourth condition, in which we will place the object at f. So this is the lens, f1 to f1, f2 and to f2. So now we are placing the object like this. The ray which is coming parallel to principal axis will passes from the principal focus like this. And another ray which is passing from the optical center will pass straight without any deviation. So what will happen? Actually these right rays not meet at any point. So we imagine that these light rays will meet at infinity. So imagine that this light ray will meet at infinity. So what should be the nature of image? We will say at infinity, the object is formed at infinity. Since we say that these are meeting at infinity, so it actually meeting, it means real. And real image is always inverted. And since these light waves meet after covering a long distance, it means it is highly magnified. Highly magnified. Okay. So this is the nature of the image when we place the object at f. It is real, inverted, at infinity, and highly magnified. Okay. This was the I think fourth condition. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, fourth condition. Now the fifth one is. You can pause my video for drawing images and for writing the nature of the image. Fifth condition is, since we are moving towards the lens, so now we are placing the object in between f and o. O is the optical center. So now we place the object like this. This is the special place. Okay. So always remember the special place. What is special about it? The ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis will pass from the principal focus like this. Another ray will pass from the optical center. So they will not meet at any point towards the RHS. It will appear to meet at beyond the object like this. It appears that the light rays are meeting behind the lens. It means towards the object side. So since the light rays are not meeting at a point, so we will say it is a virtual image. So this is the only condition where the lens forms the virtual image. So we can write the nature of the image, it is virtual. And since the virtual image is always erect, so it is erect and virtual. So it's very easy to understand, very easy to learn that the only condition where the lens forms the virtual image when we place the object in between f and o. So this is virtual and erect and image is magnified. So magnified, or we can say larger than object. Larger than object. So this is the nature of the image. Okay. So this is the second last condition in which we place the object between f and o. This is a special condition where the lens forms the virtual and erect image and enlarged image. Now the last condition is. Now suppose an object is at infinity. So I think you did this experiment at your home. If you have a lens, if you have a convex lens, then most of the children like to do it, that they like to burn a piece of paper. they focus the sunlight towards the paper and the paper start burning. So what happens actually in this case, this is a lens and this is the axis, principal axis. Again we have to write F1 and F2. So we can say the light which is coming parallel to the which is coming from the infinity earth will be parallel to each other. So we are forming the image like this. So they which is coming parallel to each other will meet at focus like this. So it actually happened when we converge the light which is coming from the sun to by the hand lens, or we say the magnifying lens. So the ray which is coming from infinity meet at focus. Since we are able to see the object which is at infinity, it means the object is really so large, but the image formed is very small. So we can say highly diminished image is formed. And since the light is actually meeting at this point, it means it is real. And real image is always inverted. So what is the nature of image? It is real. Why it is real? Because light rays are actually meeting at this point. And real image is always inverted. Okay. And meeting at focus. Since the object at infinity, it means the object is really too large, so high, so large, and the image formed is very small as compared to the object. So we can say highly diminished image. Highly diminished. Highly diminished. So this is the nature of image. So now we have learned how can we form image by using this lens. And it's really so important. And in next video I will explain you how can we do the numericals of this convex lens. Okay, till then, bye.